Hello everyone. Today I am going to teach you about left atrium and left ventricle. Okay, in previous lecture we have seen regarding right atrium and right ventricle. Today we will discuss first left atrium. It is a quadrangular chamber situated posteriorly. Its appendages, the left auricle projects anteriorly to overlap the infundibulum of the right ventricle. Let me show you in the diagram. Okay, left atrium situated posteriorly, and here left LAU written in the red area. Okay, left auricle projects anteriorly to overlap the infundibulum of the right ventricle. The left atrium shows the left 2/3 of the base of the heart, of the greater part of the upper border, parts of the sternocostal and left surface of the left border. Okay, it receives oxygenated blood from the lungs through 4 pulmonary veins. Okay, in this diagram you can see 4 pulmonary veins. It receives oxygenated blood from the lungs through 4 pulmonary veins and pumps it to left ventricle through the atrioventricular or bicuspid or mitral orifice, which is guarded by the valve of the Semnet. Okay, now we will see regarding features of the left atrium. The posterior surface of the atrium forms the anterior wall of the oblique sinus of the pericardium. In this diagram you can see oblique sinus. Okay, the posterior surface of the atrium forms the anterior wall of the oblique sinus of the pericardium. Okay, anterior wall of the oblique sinus of the pericardium. The anterior wall of the atrium is formed by the interatrial septum. 2 pulmonary veins open in the atrium on each side of the posterior wall that we have seen in the diagram. Once again, on each side 2 pulmonary veins. Okay, open into the atrium. The greater part of the interior of the atrium is smooth wall. It is derived embryologically from the absorbed pulmonary veins which open into it. Okay, it is derived embryologically from the absorbed pulmonary vein which open into it. Musculi pectinati are present only in the auricle. Okay, where they form a reticulum. Okay, muscular pectini are present only in the auricle, right auricle, left auricle that we have seen, where they form a reticulum. This part develops from the original primitive atrial chamber of the heart tube. Okay, the septal wall shows the fossa lunata corresponding to the fossa ovalis of the right atrium that we have seen in the discussion of right atrium. In addition to the 4 pulmonary veins, the tributaries of the atrium include few vena cordis minimi. Now we will discuss regarding left ventricle. The left ventricle receives oxygenated blood from the left atrium and pumps it into the aorta. It forms the apex of the heart, a part of the sternocostal surface, most of the left border and the left surface, and left 2/3 of the diaphragmatic surface. Okay, in this diagram you can see left ventricle receives oxygenated blood from the left atrium and pumps into the aorta, and it forms the apex of the heart, part of the sternocostal surface, most of the left border and left surface, and left 2/3 of the diaphragmatic surface. Okay, or inferior surface. Its features: Externally, the ventricle has three surfaces: anterior or sternocostal, inferior or diaphragmatic, and left. The interior is divisible into two parts. Okay, first let me show you surfaces. In this diagram, you can see yellow sternocostal. Okay, then in red mark left surface, purple inferior or diaphragmatic. Okay, now second point, the interior is divisible into two parts: the lower drop part with or trabeculae carne develops from the primitive ventricle of the heart tube. Second, the upper smooth part or aortic vestibule gives origin to the ascending aorta. It develops from the mid portion of the bulbus cordis. The vestibule lies between the membranous part of the interventricular septum and the anterior or aortic cusp of the mitral valve. Okay, this diagram shows the interventricular septum, sagittal section of the heart. Okay, diaphragm, left ventricle, left atrium, aortic valve, transverse sinus, pulmonary trunk, ascending aorta, pulmonary valve, and right ventricle. The interior of the ventricle shows two orifices: the left atrioventricular orifice or bicuspid orifice or mitral orifice guided by bicuspid or mitral valve. The aortic orifice guided by the aortic valve. Okay, in this diagram you can see aortic orifice which is guided by aortic valve, bicuspid or mitral orifice which is guided by mitral valve. There are two well developed papillary muscles, okay, anterior and posterior. Chordae tendineae from both muscles are attached to both the cusp of mitral valve that we have seen in the lecture of right atrium and right ventricle. The cavity of the left ventricle is circular in cross section. The walls of the left ventricles are 3 times thicker than those of the right ventricle. Okay, the walls of the left ventricles are 3 times thicker than those of the right ventricle. Structure of the heart valves. Okay, the valves of the heart maintain unidirectional flow. The valves of the heart maintain unidirectional flow of the blood and prevent its regurgitation in opposition direction. There are two pairs of valves in heart: a pair of atrioventricular valves and pair of semilunar valves. The right atrioventricular valve is known as tricuspid valve because it has 3 cusps. The left atrioventricular valve is known as bicuspid valve because it has 2 cusps. It is also called mitral valve. The semilunar valves include the aortic and pulmonary valves, each having the 3 semilunar cusps. The cusps are fold to endocardium, strengthened by the intervening layer of the fibrous tissue. Okay. In this diagram, you can see tendon of the infundibulum, aortic valve, origin of the right coronary artery, tricuspid valve and its cusp, mitral valve. In tricuspid valve, you can see there are 3 cusps. In mitral valve, there are 2 cusps. Okay, origin of the left coronary artery, trigonum, fibrosum, sinistrum, and pulmonary valve. Okay, AV valve. Atrioventricular valves. Both valves are made up of following components: a fibrous ring which the cups are attached. The cups are flat and project into the ventricular cavity. Each cusp has an attached and a free margin and a atrial and ventricular surface. The atrial surface is smooth. The free margins and ventricular surfaces are rough and irregular due to attachment of chordae tendineae, okay, that we have seen. In this diagram you can see cauda tendinae and muscles, medial papillary, lateral papillary muscles, okay, anterior leaflet, posterior leaflet, posterior lateral commissure, posterior annulus. The free margins and the ventricular surface are rough and irregular due to attachment of cauda tendinae that we have seen. The valves are closed during the ventricular systole by opposition of the atrial surface near the serrated margins. The cauda tendinae connect the free margins and ventricular surface of the cusps to the apices of the papillary muscles that we have seen. They prevent eversion of the free margins and limit the amount of ballooning of the cusps towards the cavity of the atrium. Fourth, the atrioventricular valves are kept competent by active contraction of the papillary muscles which pull on the cauda tendinae during ventricular systole. Each papillary muscle is connected to the contiguous halves of two cups. Okay. Blood vessels present only in the fibrous rings in the basal 1/3 of the cusp. Nutrition to the central 2/3 of the cusp is derived directly from the blood in the cavity of the heart. The tricuspid valve has 3 cusps, okay, that we have seen. Its name suggests tricuspid, bicuspid 2, okay, and can admit the tips of 3 fingers. The 3 cusps, the anterior, posterior or inferior and septal, lie against the 3 walls of the ventricle of the 3 papillary muscles. The anterior is again largest, the inferior is smaller and irregular, and the septal is represented by the number of small muscular elevations. The mitral or bicuspid valve has 2 cusps, okay, that we have seen in the diagram: large or anterior or aortic cusp and small posterior cusp. It admits the tips of 2 fingers. The anterior cusp lies between the mitral and aortic orifices. The mitral cusps are smaller and thicker than those of tricuspid valve. Okay, now we will discuss regarding semilunar valves. The aortic and pulmonary valves are called semilunar valves because their cusps are semilunar in shape. Okay, both valves are similar to each other. Okay, aortic and pulmonary valves are termed as semilunar valves due to its shape semilunar. Okay, each valve has 3 cusps which are attached directly to the vessel wall. Okay, each valve has 3 cusps which are attached to the vessel wall. In this diagram you can see ascending aorta, left coronary. There being no fibrous ring, the cusps form small pockets with their mouths directed away from the ventricular cavity. The free margins of each cusp contain central fibrous nodules from each side of which a thin, smooth margin, the lunule, extends up to the base of the cusp. Okay, here you can see lunule nodule. Okay, the valves are closed during ventricular diastole when each cusp bulges towards the ventricular cavity. Opposite the cusp, the vessel's walls are slightly dilated to form the aortic and pulmonary sinus. Okay, here we can see anterior aortic sinus. The coronary artery arises from the anterior and left posterior aortic sinus. Okay. In this diagram, you can see origin of the coronary artery, anterior pulmonary valve, anterior aortic sinus, right coronary artery, anterior interventricular branch of the coronary artery, left posterior aortic sinus, mitral valve, bicuspid, tricuspid valve, okay, marginal branch, posterior interventricular branch, okay. Now surface marking of the cardiac valves and the auscultatory areas, okay. Sound produced by the closure of the valves of the heart can be heard using stethoscope, okay. The sound arising in relation to a particular valve are best heard not directly over the valve but at the area situated some distance away from the valve in the direction of flow through it. These are called the auscultatory areas, okay. This is important. The position of the valves in relation to the surface of the body and auscultatory areas, okay, that we will see in the diagram and table, okay. In this diagram you can see auscultatory area. First, aortic area, due to aortic valve. Pulmonary area, pulmonary valve. At least you have to remember this forename: aortic, pulmonary, mitral and tricuspid, okay. Aortic area, pulmonary, mitral and tricuspid area, okay, for your practice. Now description. Valve, pulmonary, 2.5 centimeter diameter of orifice. Surface marking, okay. A horizontal line 2.5 centimeter long behind the upper border of the third costal cartilage, third left costal cartilage and adjoining part of the sternum, okay. Second left auscultatory area, second left intercostal space near the sternum, okay. In this diagram you can see pulmonary, second left intercostal space near the sternum. Now aortic, 2.5 centimeter diameter of the orifice, slightly oblique line, 2.5 centimeter long behind the left half of the sternum at the level of lower border of the left third costal cartilage, auscultatory area, second right costal cartilage near the sternum, okay. Here aortic, second right costal cartilage near the sternum, okay. You can see aortic area. Mitral, 3 centimeter, okay. An oblique line 3 centimeter long behind the left half of the sternum opposite the left fourth costal cartilage. An auscultatory area at cardiac apex, okay. Mitral area, okay. An oblique line 3 centimeter long behind the left half of the sternum, okay. Behind the left half of the sternum and opposite the left fourth costal cartilage, that is mitral area and cardiac apex, okay. Now tricuspid, 4 centimeter diameter of orifice, most oblique of all valves, being nearly vertical, 4 centimeter long behind the right half of the sternum opposite the fourth and fifth spaces. Auscultatory area, lower end of the sternum, okay. Tricuspid, okay. In it you can see surface marking, most obliquely all valves, 4 centimeter long. Okay, behind the right half of the sternum, opposite the fourth and fifth spaces. Auscultatory areas, lower end of the sternum. You can see tricuspid area in this diagram. Okay, thank you everyone.